Good.
The difference in speed on defense, where is it most apparent and how much of a difference do you see so far?
I think it's apparent, at all the positions. D-line, linebacker, and defensive back. We've got some guys that can run and transition. Seeing some good things without the pads on, as far as the athleticism overall.
How much of that emphasis was that going into this?
Oh, it was huge. Yeah, it was huge. That's everything. To have the guys that can react, to what they see quickly and change direction and do the things athletically that you need to be able to do to be a top-tier defense. That was certainly the goal.
Not only the recruiting, but moving Reeves Maven, safety to linebacker, Jacob Johnson, linebacker to defensive end,
Correct.
Mixon inside to tackle. Just explain those moves.
Well, it's all an attempt, again, like I said earlier, to get some speed on the field. Taking a linebacker that obviously he's got to have the size, and moving him to defensive end, that equates to more speed on the field. Taking a bigger defensive end that's athletic and moving him inside to defensive tackle, that equates to more speed on the field. Taking a corner and moving him to safety, those are the kind of moves that we're going to continue to look to make moving forward.
How will that affect you schematically? Corey Green said you guys are going to blitz 10 times more than you did last year. Is that a little?
Corey can't. He shouldn't be saying that. No, it's going to depend on how we progress here. Obviously, we're not going to be as big as we were last year, but with the moves that we've made, Jordan Williams inside, Damari and Mixon, like you said, inside. Those guys are about 285, 280 right in there. So we're gonna have to move a little bit more to keep people off their toes and keep those big guys from pounding on them too much. So that certainly is going to be a factor as we begin to work through camp and start to finalize some of our thoughts heading into the first game and even really into the season.
How big is flexibility along the defensive line to help determine playing time with so many teams wanting to go at such a fast pace on offense?
Yeah, depth is huge at the defensive line position because you do see a lot of tempo teams. You see a lot of teams running a lot of plays. They're getting 80, 85 plays a game, and so you have to be able to, to roll players in, especially up front, those big guys. And that's what we're working towards. We're trying to develop depth through recruiting. We're trying to develop depth, through the development of our young players here in camp.
Is there a realistic number of guys that you can have on the rotation in a game?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, you'd like to have at least two deep, up front to rotate in, and you'd like to have two deep and a couple more to, a couple spares in there to assure yourself of a fresh body in the game. But that's not always possible. You can't always do that. But those are the perfect scenarios if we could pick.
Just overall on defense, I know it's early, but anybody else stood out who's kind of impressed you so far? Just overall, anybody who's
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of guys. I mean, we haven't really played football. I mean, it goes like this for us. We get them here in the summer, and they start lifting and running and working out, and we get excited about guys, and then you go out in shells, and you're like, okay, I think this and that, and then when you put the pads on, it all changes. And for me, that's the real evaluation. Somebody that's going to hit and tackle, and that's defensive football. We can't lose sight of that. If a guy's athletic and can change direction, but he can't get the guy on the ground, that does you no good. So I'm going to reserve any comments or any evaluations in regards to them being good football players until I can see them tackle and actually play football.
Coach, with kind of staying cautious like that, is it safe to say that newcomers that were here in the spring that you guys are at least faster and athletic?
Yeah, there's no question. We're faster and more athletic, but that doesn't equate to being better if you can't tackle. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. We got to challenge our guys to be more physical, and with a young team, we can't emphasize that enough.
And unlike Coach Jake, most of those young kids didn't get here for you until the summer. How tough is it, especially in that front seven or on the defensive line, to speed up that development?
Yeah, it's tough, regardless of if they're there in January or in June or into May. But yeah, it's tough.
Would it be? Is it fair to say that defensive tackle in particular, just without the benefit of like an off-season program?
Oh yeah, that's
hard to
huge.
come in and play?
Yeah, it's a tremendous challenge for those guys. I mean, just the techniques and the fundamentals and understanding leverage. I mean, they're going to be competing against guys that have been, 4 and 5 years in college that have, seen a lot of football. So we're going to have our work cut out, that's for sure.
With that said, I mean, just body type wise, I mean, Sawyers looks like a guy.
Yeah, those guys are big body guys. They're strong, they're powerful.
And have you just gotten a read on athletically what Hendricks and Barnett? I mean, do you feel like they're they're definitely athletically what you're looking for. But again, we haven't done a lot as far as trying to win the line of scrimmage, with our pad level and things like that. But I will compliment their athleticism.
John, when you look at this summer and the new guys you had in and stuff, was it a little bit more fun, or did you have a little bit more freedom to scheme, knowing that you had a more athletic defense coming this fall?
Yeah, there were some things that I really concentrated on and added to the package and took some things out. I really tried to, I say simplify it, but simple is not the answer. Simple really gets you beat. If teams know what you're in all the time. I tried to make it more user-friendly, adapt it more to be effective against the no-huddle teams that we're going to see, the first 3 opponents, and throughout our season. And so there were some changes, that I made. But if I was going to do it, I felt like this was the year to do it. We're so young, do it now, don't wait, and just swallow the frog, this year with a young group and some new wrinkles. But it wasn't major things for the older guys, but we'll see where we're at.
Did that 2-hour rule help a lot, being able to know that you can communicate those wrinkles and stuff to those guys?
Yeah, that was big. Yeah, that was big.
It seems like when you're against 11 personnel, AJ and Jalen will be your 2 linebackers. When you're base 4-3 against 2 tight end sets, how's that other linebacker spot looking? That competition?
That's what we bring Kurt in at linebacker. In our sub package, in our nickel, he's playing like a defense. He's playing defensive end. But then when they go big, we go big, so to speak. And he stands up and he plays, an outside linebacker for us in base personnel.
Whether going to get into a mix, you think?
Chris is athletic. He's got a lot to learn. I mean, he got here later than the other guys, so he was really behind the 8 ball when it comes to understanding the package and even offensive football. He's got a lot of catching up to do, but athletically, he certainly is the part.